Movie trailers that give the entire film away. Here's a perfect example. The Fate of the Furious is the 8th film in the Fast and Furious franchise, and I gotta say, this series is a guilty pleasure of mine. I know liking it probably flies in the face of everything I've criticized about Hollywood in recent years, but you know what? This franchise doesn't pretend to be anything other than exactly what it is. While other big Hollywood blockbusters often try to push a liberal narrative on you, or come across as too pretentious, or just generally talk down to their audiences, Fast and Furious is just a good time. It's brain dead, it's fast food entertainment, but you know what? There's a place for that. Not all the time. You can't survive on a diet of fast food. You need something intellectually stimulating now and then, but that's why it's fun to watch this as a spectacle sometimes. You know what you're getting. Also, the men behave like men, and even the tough chicks don't compromise on their femininity. It's good old school, balls out, tough guy action stuff, and it's fun. Now, this is the 8th film, and it's the first one without the late Paul Walker, and if I'm honest, for that reason, I'm kind of less enthused about this one, to be honest, because of his absence. I think the franchise has now gone on too long. 8 films. And I think it's starting to change again. In the 5th film, it transitioned from illegal street racing to a heist genre, and now it plans to switch this series to a more spy, caper, espionage style focus. Whatever's making money, I guess, which is fine so long as it keeps some of the roots in terms of the street racing and the pretty girls and all that kind of stuff. I don't mind. Now, some fans feel it's divorced itself significantly from its street racing roots. But I don't think this is totally a bad thing. I mean, it's grown up, and people have grown up with it. The series is completely unrecognizable from the 2001 original movie. And it's become quite cheesy maybe in places, but the characters remain true to themselves, I think. And generally there's a feel-good factor attached to it that I quite like. I like how it's evolved. Now, this trailer is way too long. It's crazy. It's 3 minutes 17 seconds. By no means the longest trailer I've ever seen. There's been trailers over 4 minutes. But I think trailers should be like 45 seconds and no more. It would make them a lot better, because it would force the studios and the editors to be much more creative in selling the films to audiences, because they wouldn't be allowed to show you everything. This trailer gives away all the big action scenes and pretty much tells you the entire plot from the looks of it. It's ridiculous. Dominic Toretto is teamed up, possibly against his will, with a new character, I presume is the real villain in Charlize Theron, and he's bad in this movie, and his team have to take him down with the help, once again, of Mr. Nobody, played by Kurt Russell, who was introduced in the previous film. So you're left wondering, well, why is he bad? Well, there can only be a very short list of very predictable reasons. It's an elaborate misunderstanding, he's being coerced into betraying his team and family for some higher purpose that he can't reveal yet because their lives are in danger. He's playing Charlize Theron in order to win her trust and ultimately take her down. It's a conspiracy, or he's under mind control, I don't know. Pretty much that's about it. Stuff we've seen in other movies. Pretty predictable. All the big action set pieces and fights and gags are given away, and the action formula and style of the editing of the trailer is pretty much what we've come to expect from Hollywood. It's gratuitous how much is actually being shown here. Does anyone remember when trailers used to be teaser trailers? They used to tease you? The trailer for Logan got it right. Short, emotionally compelling, and gave you just enough to hook you in. And I hope the full theatrical trailer isn't much longer than the teaser trailer was. This film is probably going to be meh, let's be honest. This kind of story is predictable, and it looks very Triple X to me, but with more cars. Now, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. I'll watch it with an open mind. But let's just imagine that the film is average or mediocre. I don't know yet, but let's say it's bad. And if it's a bad film, it's not a good idea to show so much of it in the trailer. Tease people. Give them just enough to be curious and hook them in. I'm in no way curious about this film. Same with the Marvel films. Nothing is left to my imagination here. I'm bored and I'm unimpressed. Now, I probably shouldn't analyze the content here too much, but from what I'm seeing, it looks like the filmmakers are desperately trying to tell as little story as possible and outdo the previous films in terms of action scenes. They're being shot at in Antarctica. Look at how ridiculous some of these action scenes are. In the previous film, they flew their cars out of a plane and drove one car from one skyscraper to another. Now they're being chased on the ice by a submarine. Now, what's next? Escaping molten lava flows of a volcano in Aston Martins? Time travel? Can they go into space in the next one? Anyway, look, like I say, these films are meant to be, a little bit silly and not taken in any way seriously. But there's a way of doing this. I can only suspend the disbelief for so long. That being said, Fast and Furious has succeeded in doing this where Transformers and the superhero movies often fail, which is doing it in a way that tells you, look, we don't have a script here that's particularly clever, but boy, we're going to entertain you and we promise you a really good time. And you'll love these characters, they're fun, they're likable, you'll laugh, and maybe there's some heart and sentiment that will make the characters endearing to you. And people feel at home with this franchise. Like I say, they've grown up with it. However, they have to be careful as well because, if it goes over the top and, shockingly, it looks like it is, and it's about to jump the shark here, or at least a submarine, then they're going too far and they will lose people. So let's see what happens. But this is definitely, not how you do a trailer these days. Too long, too much. All the movie is here in a compressed 3-minute form factor. And quite honestly, the franchise looks tired. It looks like it's now decided that its entire focus is going to be about making bigger and bigger vehicular-based action scenes rather than focusing on any kind of a story. So what you're watching feels less like a movie and more like a collection of arbitrary action set pieces in different parts of the world because reasons. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.